Hello and welcome back to the Jonathan Darling podcast. I am really interested in this topic and I wanted to share it with you today. This idea of expecting returns on investments that we've never made. See, oftentimes we have this idea that we will reap the returns and the benefit of things that either we haven't actually done any type of investing in, or in things that we haven't invested enough in. And this is what this is the example that I'll give you. Is, we want to be in shape, we want to lose weight, we want to get more healthy, but yet we don't actually make the investments into being more healthy, getting in better shape, and doing those types of things to even remotely get the returns that we want. And I see so many areas of life. I was actually just in New York City, ended up flights getting canceled. So I went home, I went to a hotel and I decided I was going to go into the city. And as I went into the city, which is a place my wife and I love, we've been going to, for weekends and different things last almost 5 years. And every single time that we're there, I'm always like, one day we're going to own a house here. One day, this is where we're going to, maybe not full time, but we're going to have a place that we can come here. My oldest daughter says that she wants to, whatever, like, let's go. And so here I am, I get a free night. So I go to my hotel, I get a Uber into the city, and I'm walking around the West Village, down near NYU, Washington Square Park and all this. And I found myself once again going, man, one day I want to have a place here. One day I want to have a place where we can come and stay. Ours, we can Airbnb it. We can do all those things. But like one day I want a place here. And what I found was interesting was that I've been saying that for 5 years. And it really hit me while I was sitting on a park bench in Washington Square Park. I'm sitting there and it really hit me. For the last 5 years, I've been saying, oh man, I really wish that I had a house here. I really wish that we had a place here where we could come and stay. But yet, and that's the return that I want. And I'm wondering why it hasn't happened yet in 5 years. Why has the script been the same over the last 5 years? Well, the script has been the same because I haven't done what I needed to do to make that reality happen. I haven't made the investments that I needed to make in order to get the return of having a second home in Manhattan. Like not even remotely close. Like it's not even that's a dream. And I've not done the work or made the sacrifices or spent the time doing the things that I need to do in order to earn the income or to put myself in a position to earn the income to where we can afford a second home in Manhattan. That place, right? But that's fine. That doesn't mean it's out of reach, but I have to be willing to do the things that need to be done in order to get the future, get the returns that I want. I have to make the investment into the things that are going to move the needle in order to get a return on that investment, which is having place. And, I look at this and it's so often that we do this in so, this really came to me there in New York, but because I was reading this incredible book called How Will You Measure by Clayton Christensen. And in chapter 6 of the book, he talks about how we often want this return on investments that we've never made. And he uses the example of oftentimes as we're chasing our career and wanting to be successful and all these things that we think I'll invest in my career now and then I'll invest in my kids later. When they're younger, it won't be that big of a deal, but I will invest more in my kids later once become more successful. And what he talks about, and in this book, Clayton Christensen, he's a professor at Harvard. He's using business to help people understand or where to look for value in their life. And what he says is the investment in your children when they're young, even before they reach school, and the spending time with them, having conversations with them as if you're talking to another adult, reading to them, all of these little investments that are made your children actually not help create a better relationship with you as, for myself as like a father to my kids, but it also helps them become more successful when they reach school. But, we often say, well, I'm going to do this first. And then once I get here, then I'll do this. And when we get to this other place, we expect these returns and this time or this relationship, but yet we've never made the investments, the little investments along the way. We want a great relationship with our kids, but we haven't invested time, energy, love into our children and spending that time with them and investing in that in order to get the return of having great relationships with our kids one day. And so I think it's really important that we make sure that whatever it is that we say we want most in life, and I think that comes down to self-auditing. You really have to look at yourself and go, okay, what is it that I truly want? And so whatever it is that you truly want, then you've got to then reflect on, am I making the investments that will one day get me the return of what I want most? Am I making the investments into that relationship? Am I making investments into that business, that future, that debt relief, whatever it is? Am I doing the things that I need to do in order to get the returns that I want? It's really simple. Doesn't mean that it's always easy, but it's really simple. It comes down to a choice. What do I want most in this world? And am I willing to do the activity that needs to be done in order to have what I ultimately want? You want a better relationship with your spouse? Well, okay. Are you willing to make the investments in spending the time, getting to understand them better, learning how to love them in the way that they need to be loved, spending that time, putting away your phone, not focusing on business, not taking that business trip and being home because your spouse needs you home? Are you willing to do those things and make those sacrifices to get the return that you ultimately truly want in life? If your ultimate goal is to be as successful in business as you possibly can, and you could care less about anything else, then are you willing to make the investments there? Because watching Netflix every single night until 30 isn't going to do it. And that was a reality check that I had. I mean, I was sitting there on a bench in New York City. It's about 11:30 at night, and I'm just in tears. And I made a video for myself that said, remember this moment right here, because this is the moment where you realize that the future that you want, you have to be willing to invest the time, energy, and effort into making it happen, and you have it. That's why for the last 5 years, you've been saying one day. Well, one day is never going to happen unless you do something about it today. And so what is it that you want most in life? What is it that you're ultimately striving for? Whatever that is, take a moment, take several moments, take all the time that you need to really get honest with yourself and ask yourself this question: am I investing into the right things to get the return that I one day want? And if you aren't, then it's a really simple next step. What are the things that I need to be investing in order to get this future? And like I said, it doesn't make it easy. But if you want something to happen for you one day, if you want to get in shape, if you want to make more money, if you want to have that home on Manhattan, if you want to have that home in Florida, if you want to chase that goal or chase that dream, decide that that's what you want. Make that decision. And then start making the investments needed in order to get the return. Now, look, Gary Vee talks about this a lot. You've got to have macro pace, micro speed, right? So make those goals and realize it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take time. It's going to take consistency and commitment and a discipline to making it happen. Push for that. Understand it's going to take a minute. But don't allow that to detour you from doing the small actions and making those small investments at a very fast rate that are going to help speed up the coming of that return. You know, I made that decision. This was just last week, sitting in New York on that park bench in tears, realizing that the only reason why I don't have what I want is because of me. The only reason why I'm not going up to New York this weekend with my family to go stay in our condo on, in Manhattan, well, that's my fault, because I haven't been investing in the right things in order to get that return. And there's so much power in that. There's so much power in knowing that it's up to me. Because here's the thing. I know that I have God on my side. I know my Creator. I know what I was created for. I know the incredible power, dominion, and authority that I have because of who lives inside of me. But it's my choice to tap into that power, dominion, and authority. It's my choice to tap into the abundance of living in the Spirit. It's my choice to get the what the world might think unfair favor. Christ follower and being a son of the Most High King, being a prince in this royal priesthood of being a follower of Jesus, being a Christian. It's my choice of whether or not I tap into that and allow that to flow through me, because in Philippians 4:13 it says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That means that I can do the things and endure whatever it is that I need to endure to make that future possible. So I just want to ask yourself this question. What is it that you really want in life? What are the returns that you want one day ultimately in your life? And then the second question, or the second step, is look at the investments that you're making. Look at the areas that you're investing into with your time, energy, and money. And are those investments going to reap the return that you one day want? If they're not, then it's time to change your investment strategy. If you're not getting what you want, if you're not getting the returns that you want, then you need to look at your investment strategy and you need to change it. It's really that simple. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I love you. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and we'll talk soon.